Okay, you're welcome to this brief presentation. Basically what we have here is a setup of point-to-point connection between two different locations. Let me show you what exactly we aim to achieve in this presentation. Okay, this is a client site somewhere in Lagos, and actually some of our engineers came to do a site survey here to just know exactly what we have in this facility. Now, this particular building you are seeing here is exactly the same building that you can see. I hover my mouse over it at the right hand side of this picture. This is the main building, the main office of this client, and down here where I hover my mouse is the new office or extension office for this same client. And then the idea is, since they already have a functional network, there is a LAN here. As a matter of fact, let me show you. So in that main building, they have a couple of servers, they have a functional LAN, and also there is an existing internet connection in this main building. But the goal of this client is to take everything that we have in this building and stretch it to get to the new building here. So probably they are going to have a couple of new employees in the second building here, and they actually want the new people in the new building to be able to achieve this. The benefits of this connection is that they have an ERP software running on the server in the main building, as well as a Tally software running on the same server. And they want people in the new building to be able to work with these softwares. Okay, in order to achieve this, we actually want to use this device. This is Ubiquiti Nano Station, and to be specific, this is Ubiquiti Radio Nano Station M5. And since we are connecting two different locations together, we are going to need two of these Ubiquiti stations. And what I'm going to show you in this video is how to do the setup of these radios. I've actually done this configuration earlier, but I have to default the device so that I can set it up again and walk you through. That's the main idea of this presentation. So these Ubiquiti radios, they do come with a default IP settings. So the IP they come with is 192.168.1.20, and they also have username of UBNT and a password of UBNT. So these are the default settings. We are going to access the device on this address, and it's going to prompt us for username and password. So when we do log into the device for the first time, we won't be able to make or save any of our configurations with a default password. So we're going to have to change the default password of this device to something stronger than UBNT. So for us to gain access to this device, we are going to have to make some changes on our TCP/IP settings for our laptop. So let me clear the screen, and I'm going to get to my LAN settings, ncpa.cpl, and hit the enter key. So there's my LAN, and the properties of the LAN, TCP/IP version 4. You can see that my LAN settings is already configured to be on the same segment with the Ubiquiti radio. So the radio comes as 1.20 rather, and I set my PC to 1.100. 1.20 is given to me as my gateway. Okay, so to log into this device, first off, we are going to set up the Ubiquiti Radio AP1, and the AP1 is the one that you are going to mount by the wall of the main building, after which you set up the AP2, which will be mounted on the wall of the new building of the client. So I'm going to open Internet Explorer, and first off I have to ping. I'll see that my PC can ping the radio that I want to connect to, 192.168.1.20, and hit the enter key so we can get to the radio. So go to a browser and enter that IP settings, and just hit the enter key. It's going to prompt us for login details. Already you know the username is UBNT and the password is UBNT as well. So enter the credentials, UBNT, password UBNT, and click on login. Okay, so it's going to pop up a message here saying you are using the default administrator password. Please change it in system page. So can dismiss the message. We are going to change that later. The first time you log into this device is going to ask you to select your country. So I've already done that before now. So let's go to system and change the default administrator password. So this is system accounts. There should be a place to change the password, UBNT. So okay, so the current password is UBNT, so we're going to change it. So for this demonstration I'm going to use a very simple password, though I'm going to have to change it after this tutorial. I'm going to use ABC at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 hash. So that's going to be the password. So we are going to copy it from here and we'll go to the radio. We'll say this is going to be our new password, and we are going to confirm that it's our new password. So we have to click on change down here before we have the option to apply the change. Okay, so I think it's saved. So the first thing we do is go to network. Now once again, let's look at the concepts. So this is the main building of this client, and this client is using a Spectranet router. So they are using ISP Spectranet to connect to the internet. And what I've checked is the settings of the Spectranet router. So the Spectranet is having 192.168.8.1 as the IP. So I'm going to have to configure all my parameters to be on this network. So everything I'm going to configure, the radio is going to be on 8 dot something. So the Spectranet is on 8.1. I do know that they have printer in this building. I don't know what the printer IP is. So I'm going to give the radio. I'm going to go as far as possible. So I will assume that probably 1 to 20 is from that range that they give their printer's IP. So the Ubiquiti radio that I have AP1. That's the one that will be in the main building. I'm going to change his IP from 192.168.1.20 and this time I'm changing it to 192.168.8.253. okay, so that the Ubiquiti can get internet connection. Has to be on the same subnet as the internet router provided by the ISP. Now the second radio is going to be in the main building. AP2 also comes with a default IP of 192.168.1.20, and in this tutorial we are going to change it to 192.168.8.254. okay, so let's go back to the radio. So we'll go to network, and under the network settings we change the IP parameters. So 1.20 we're going to change it to 192.168.8.253, and then the gateway is going to be our internet connection source. Notice that the router from SpectraNet is 8.1, so for anyone to get to the internet, he has to pass through that router. So we're going back here to change this from 1.1 to 8.1. Our primary DNS, we also use our ISP as our primary DNS, 192.168.8.1, and we could use any of the free DNS servers on the internet as our backup DNS server, 4.2.2.2. okay, so to save these settings we have to hit change, and that will give us the opportunity to apply. Okay, so after the changes are applied, we are not going to be able to log in back to the Ubiquiti radio because the IP parameters of that radio has been changed. Okay, so we are going to have to go to our LAN settings, and can see that we have been disconnected. So we are going to set our system to be on the new IP parameters, and then the Ubiquiti radio we are connecting to now is no longer 1.20 but 8.253. okay, so we hit the OK button, and if you open our command prompt once again, before now we were able to ping 1.20, but now the IP has been changed to 8.253. We should be able to reach it. So we need to go back to the web browser, and we are going to also change the IP parameters. So this is going to be 8.253, and then we are going to proceed to advance and proceed to the site, and we enter the parameters, UBNT, and the password is no longer UBNT. You remember we have changed the password to capital ABC at 1234567. So we'll copy the password, go back to the web page and paste, and hit login. So should be able to get back into the box. Okay, so that's the first thing we do, is to set the IP parameters of the radio. Now let's go and set up the point-to-point connection setup, the parameters that will allow this radio to be able to talk to the other one. So we'll go to wireless, and the first thing we do is to change the wireless mode. You can see it's on station by default. Now let's go back to the picture. You notice that this is the main building and this is the extension building or the new building. So the radio in the main building is going to be broadcasting whatever we have existing here, our LAN and internet connection, down to the extended or new building. Okay, so the one that will be broadcasting everything to the other building have to be configured as what? Not station mode, but access point mode. Now the receiving access points that will be in the new building will be in station mode. You have to remember that. So this is going to be on access point mode, and then we are going to set up an SSID. These two radios will have to be communicating to each other on this SSID. SSID stands for Service Set Identifier, and simply put, it's the name given to any wireless network. Excuse me. So if I click on my wireless adapter on my LAN settings, you see I could see the networks that are around my area, and that's what SSID simply means. So we are going to give this a unique name. We'll call it PTP, that is point-to-point connection. We are going to make sure that this name is the same on the two radios. We are going to leave the country code as United States. We don't even have option to select Nigeria there. And the channel width, we are going to put it to 20 megahertz. And then frequency, we are going to leave it auto, so auto select. And what other settings do you need to change here? Security, yeah, so have to enable security. We enable WPA2 using AES encryption. And what passwords do we want to allow this access point to use to speak to the other access point? For now, let's just use this password. The password we put on one access point must match with what we put on the other. So paste, that is ABC at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 hash. Of course, we are using pre-share key, that is PSK. So those are the settings we need to make in the main building radio, and then we're going to hit change button here, and then it will allow us then to go and apply our settings. So that's pretty much what we can do in the main building radio. And if you come to this basic, has disconnected me. So let's try to log in back to the radio. What's going on here? I think the settings, the changes are still being applied. Let's see if you can ping it. 8.253. So it's going. So okay, I think the settings are being applied. That's why we are not able to get into it. So here we are back into it. And you are going to make sure that on this main tab here, the Air Max settings, that Air Max is what it put to enable. Okay, so you can also enable long range point-to-point link mode. So you can also enable that. Click on change, then apply. Okay, so basically we are done. So you can go to the main tab and verify the parameters of what we have just set up in the main building access point. So it seems anytime you click on apply, you have to wait for some time for the radio to finish applying the settings before you're able to get back into it. So we are disconnected from the radio once again. Let's see if you can ping it. So the ping is going. So you should be able to get him back. Okay, so we are back into the radio, and you can see the parameters we just set. The SSID is point-to-point connection, and the wireless mode is what? Access point mode. When we get to the other station, it's going to be on station mode. That is the other access point at the other new building. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect this laptop from the main building access point, and to do that I have to go and change my parameters once again, because the new access point at the new building is still having the default parameters, which is 192.168.1.20. So once again, I'm going to give this one 1.100, and 1.20 is going to be okay. So I've gone ahead to change the IP settings of my laptop, and you can see that I should be able to ping the second access point for the new building. So once again, we have to change the IP details to the default settings, which is 192.168.1.20, and yeah, we go to advanced and proceed to the site. The default username is UBNT, the default password is UBNT. Of course, we have to select country. If you don't see your country, select another country, and we have to accept, and then we log in. So when we log in, once again, we are going to have to change the default password. That's what is telling us here. So we go to system, and yeah, this is administrator username. The current password is UBNT, and just go and copy and paste the passwords that we used for the other radio. So we have to paste the new password, and we have to confirm the new password, and click on change, and then apply. Okay, so real quick, we want to quickly go through the network settings tab. Okay, so I've gone ahead to make changes the IP settings on this second radio. If you remember, we are changing it to 8.254. The other one we are done with configuring is 8.253. So I'm going to click on change tab, and I'm going to apply. So once again, we are going to be disconnected, so we have to go to our LAN settings and quickly change the IP parameters of our system to 8 dot something instead of 1. So just make that changes. This should be 8.254, and we'll save the settings. And of course, we should be able to get back. So if we do a ping to 8.254, you see that is replying. So we're going to log in back to the radio 8.254, and yeah, we are in. So proceed, and the username is UBNT, and the password is what we've been using. We'll change it to ABC at 1234567 hash. So log in. So now that we are done with the network parameters, we'll have to get into the main thing, and that is having to go to wireless settings. And then you remember when we were at the other end, the wireless mode was on AP mode. Now this has to be on station, and then the SSID has to be the same thing, PTP connection. We can even click on select and should be able to see the other radio because it's still on. That's a PTP connection. And we have to click on lock to AP, and the lock to AP feature automatically pick the MAC address of the main building access points. Okay, and that's what we have done. And of course, we have to put the password that this access point will have to use to talk to the other one at the main building, and the password has to match for them to talk to each other. So click on change, and then click on apply. And as it is now, these two radios are configured to talk to each other, and whatever it is we have on the LAN in the main building, the servers, everything, the internet connection is going to be broadcast over the wireless link to the new building. So we have a radio here in the main building, we have internet here in the main building, we have a LAN, and all the servers we have here, all the application running on the server is going to be passed through the wireless connection to the new building radio, and then we'll drop it to the LAN switch on the new building, and every device in the new building, wired and wireless alike, should be able to access the resources that we have in the main building. So up to this point, this is what we want to achieve, this is what we want to accomplish. So if I go to tools, note that this is 254, that is the new building radio. So go to tools, we are going to, can do a site survey here, but we are doing pinging now. So let's see if we can ping the main building radio. Remember, the main building IP is 192.168.8.253, and just hit on start, and so the new building radio is able to reach the main building radio, which means that everything that is on that side can be accessed from this side. And most importantly, the two radios have to be on the same LAN segment. So you see the main building radio is on 8.253, while the new building radio is on 8.254. If you put two of them on different segments, you are going to have issues. So I hope this video has been informative. I hope you should be able to do this setup in your own environment. When you have scenario like this, you want to connect two different locations that are not too far away from each other together, you should be able to use wireless radio connections to achieve that. Thank you so very much for joining in, and see you next time. Once again, we have done a site survey, and what we want to do is basically connect the servers and the infrastructures that are in this building, so that people in this new building, where I hover my mouse, will be able to access the servers and everything, internet that is there. So we've actually done this, and I've also walked you through that video tutorial where we set up the two radios. So I just make this short video to just confirm to you that we've been able to achieve the objective. And presently I'm here right now. I'm in this new building, and there is internet connection in this new building, and let me just show you. So I'm going to open a web browser, and we're going to open a browser, and you can see that this radio, the main building where the servers and everything is, the radio there is 253. So let me just show you UPNT, the username, and enter the password details. This is the radio where the server is, and we can go to tools, and we can use the pinging utility, and we can ping Google DNS server 8.8.8.8, just to see that there is internet connection. And to confirm the radio we are in, this is actually 0.253. That's the radio in the main building. And to show you something, go to System tab. You see that the firmware version of this radio is version 6.2.0. So let's go to the other building where we are now actually. You see that there is a notification here saying uploaded firmware version 6.2.0. So we have opportunity to click on update to update it. So if the radio here, if we go to network, wow. So I have to log in again, UBNT, enter the password for the box, and hopefully we are inside the box now. And if we go to network tab, just to confirm that this is 0.254, the other radio is 0.253. So this is the new building radio, and to confirm that we have internet, we go to ping, and we can see that in the second radio too we could reach the internet. So can ping 4.2.2.2 and it's going. Alright, so let's do the firmware update. So go to system, and on the system tab we check for firmware. You can see the current version is version 6.1.7, and there is a newer version 2.6.2.0. so we update. So we're going to upload the firmware. Of course, if you don't have internet connection at the new building, this wouldn't be possible. So just wait for the firmware upload to complete, after which we'll start to do the update. So I'm going to, okay, it seems it's moving very fast. So let's just hold on. 100% done. So firmware is uploaded. We have to click on I agree with the licensing agreements. Here we click on update firmware. Okay, so the firmware update is going to start, and at the completion of this firmware updates, this radio at the new building should have the latest box. And while we actually wait for the firmware updates, we have internet connection at the new building, and we can actually verify this. I think the update of the firmware is going to cut us out from the internet, because the process will require that the radio reboots. Alright, so we're done with the updates. So you can see that the firmware version of this new box is, sorry, this is the 0.253, which is in the main building. Actually, we are supposed to be on 0.254, and when the firmware updates complete, we are going to get logged out of the box. So we are going to sign in again, username UBNT, and we'll enter the credentials of the radio in the new building, and we are inside. Just to confirm, look at the address bar here. We are on 0.254, which is a new building, and the firmware used to be 6.1.17, and it's 6.2.0. So if you check for a new update, it said you have latest available firmware version. So we have the latest firmware. Okay, so there is internet in this box, and over here the system I'm using is connected to a LAN switch, and on that system I'm actually getting IP address through DHCP server, and this DHCP server is what I can see here, that the DHCP server is 0.2, which is a server sitting in the main building, and we've been able to get IP from that server in this new building. And if I check if I have the internet, I should have. So I should be able to go to any website of my choice. We have not done URL filtering of any kind here. So let's say we check out youtube.com, and bam, youtube.com should open, and we can go to any website. Let's go to the website ubnt.com. I think that is the Ubiquity website. Not too sure if that is their website. I think it is. So this is Ubiquity, and this is where we can do some product comparison if we are trying to buy a particular Ubiquity product for our clients. This is the end of this tutorial video about connecting two buildings and sharing the resources like servers, internet connections, that is in the main building, and want people in the other building to be able to use it. We don't need to run cables from one building to the other, maybe fiber optic cables. We can do radio connection point to point, 10 kilometer distance, 15 kilometer distance, and even above. Should still be able to link up the two locations through wireless connection.